Hi all, here I am with another video for yourself. This one is a pass, so it's 3 minors. It was really a good drive, to be honest. Few tricky situations, but the people dealt with it correctly. So we are going to be exiting the car park, turning left. And as I've always said, you should pause and have a little look both sides. On this occasion, the pupil did not pause, but she did have a look both sides and approach, which is okay because as long as you've got good control over the vehicle, you can do that. But I always say pause nonetheless. That's the best thing to do. So at the end of this road, we are going to be turning left. I'll do my best to explain where the pupil went wrong on this test and where she could have actually messed up. So have a good look and have a listen as well. So at the roundabout, we are going to be following the road ahead, taking the second exit, please. Park on the left in a safe place, please. This test consisted of a Satnav driving. Obviously, I was not allowed to put the recording on, so you won't actually hear the Satnav. So we are going to be taking the next road on the left, please. Please remember at the end of this road, if you can see the circle there, they won't tell you where to go at the end of this road because you can only go towards the left. So please remember, just look out for road markings, etc. Like you can see the arrow there pointing towards the left. That's very, very, very important. You may have noticed a little jump in the video, a little skip in the video just now. We are on the same road, and I'm not sure what happened during the recording, but we're on the same road, and the skip was like for a millisecond. So at the traffic light, we are turning right, please. So we haven't really lost anything whatsoever in this video because of that skip. This positioning by the pupil, I must say, is absolutely beautiful. So she's making sure she's stopped in a way where she's not blocking the vehicles that's coming down, and she's not stopping vehicle from turning right. So this is a very, very good positioning, if I may say so myself. And we're going to be turning left at the next set of traffic lights, please. So when we come around towards the right, we are going to be turning left, please. At the roundabout, we're turning right, taking the third exit, please. And when turning right at mini roundabout, please, where possible, use first gear because it gives you a better control as you're coming round. On this occasion, the pupil did use third gear, but to be fair, she's got brilliant control over the vehicle overall, so she got away with it very, very nicely. So you can see in this situation here, again, another tricky situation in which my pupil decides she's not rushing. Look at this. This stop is absolutely brilliant. This is what you call forward planning. So she was aware that something was coming down and she just held back. So this is the way to drive when you come up to meeting situation. If the parked vehicle is on your side, please do not take any risk. Just hold back. Taking the next road on the left, please, and then immediate right, please. Enter the runabout, take the second exit, please. End of the road, turn left, please. End of the road, turn left, please. Then take immediate right, please. Park on the left in a safe place, please. When parking up on the left, please remember it does not have to be immediate. You decide where you're going to park. So you should always aim to park where the curb is high, unless the examiner says ignore the curb or stop here or anywhere here will be fine, then that's different. But do not rush when it's time to stop. Look for where you want to stop. So apply what we call a scalp routine, SCALP, safe, convenient, and legal place. This is very important. End of the road, turn left, please. End of the road, turn right, please. So, guys, take a good look at this. Can you see the arrow up there? Good. So, what is that telling you? So, this is a one-way road. So, to turn right, where do we position on a one-way road? That's correct. We should position to the right hand side where the pupil position on this one because we're turning right. So we should always be on the right hand side for a right turn. So upper head here, we can see that light flashing. So basically what that is doing is just telling you the speed that you're actually doing. Roundabout, we're following the road ahead, please. So you know what this roundabout obviously goes to the right of the right of way. So be mindful whenever you're coming down that roundabout. Have a look, but make sure you take a second look again, please. Park on the left in a safe place, please. This is where the pupil received her first minor driving fault. So basically, when moving off, she didn't look over her right shoulder properly. She did have a little look, but just through the glass rather than leaning over and looking into the right blind spot, which I've always emphasized to my pupil. Please, please make it obvious. Enter the runabout. Take the third exit, please. Now, this is where pupil received the second minor fault. Now, interestingly, this could have been a serious. Have a look at this situation. So here my pupil passed and was waiting on this vehicle. But this vehicle, if you notice, they're going straight. Who do you think of the right of way at the roundabout? Exactly. So really, my pupil should have continued. I'll be honest with you, as per the examiner, what saved the pupil is that she actually gave a comment. She commented and said, "Oh, I'm just waiting to see what this vehicle doing because sometimes they don't signal," which is absolutely brilliant. But as the examiner said to the pupil, be careful because you can be too cautious. And when doing so, if a vehicle was trying to come around you from behind, the result may have been different. So please, guys, whenever you're turning right at roundabout, go if you've got the right of way. End of the road, turning right, please. Park on the right in a safe place, please. So if you notice here, guys, please wait until you go past the junction before you give your right signal to move over. Thank you. And I'd like you to reverse up to 2 cars length, please. So you may have noticed there the car came to a stop, which is brilliant. If there are oncoming vehicles, you must stop. Please remember, you must stop. Do not continue when there's vehicle coming around you. Now, on the other hand, with that said, if the road is wide enough, again, another nice stop this is from the pupil. However, if the road is wide enough and there are vehicles coming on the opposite side of the road and they're coming at speed, then you can continue, but give a little comment. So say something along the line, okay, so those guys are on the other side of the road and the road is wide enough, so I'm just going to continue. Talk out loud. Let the examiner know what you're thinking. Personally, I wouldn't have parked where the pupil parked just because of this parked vehicle. Nonetheless, she did that very well. However, if you park next to a parked vehicle that's on the pavement, please be mindful when you're coming back because you don't want your mirror to touch their mirror or you don't want to get too close to that vehicle. Drive on when ready, please. When it's time for you to move off, where do you start the observation from? That is correct. Start from the curb outward. So if you're on the right hand side of the road, you start from the curb. If you're on the left hand side, you start from the curb. So it's always curb outward into the danger. Coming down to the traffic light, some examiner will say straight ahead, some will just remain silent. Because remember, at the beginning of the test, the examiner will say, please assume straight ahead unless road markings indicate otherwise. If I'd like you to turn left or right, I will give you plenty of notice to do so. So in this case, if an examiner do not say where to go, please assume straight ahead. Now, have a look at this situation. Can you see what the pupil did? So the pupil held back because of the yellow box junction. Please do not go into the yellow box junction. For example, this van, if this van was on a test, that would just be a game over. So avoid the yellow box junction. So where the pupil stop here, personally, she could have gone forward a little bit more just so that the line disappears. But saying that, she did absolutely exceptional by holding back and avoiding the yellow box junction. Traffic light, we're turning right, please. Now, this is where the pupil got another minor. So this is her third minor. You can see the road merging here. So she did well to deal with this car, but she could have checked her right mirror a little bit earlier, the examiner said, just to be aware, because you could see the parked vehicles, and as such, you would expect that you're going to move to the right lane. So she could have checked earlier. She did check just about in time and held back, so the examiner did not have to intervene or anything like that. But in case like that, she should have checked a little bit earlier in anticipation that there possibly could be something coming on her right side. So that's the three minors she received. So to summarize the minors, so one for moving off, not looking over her right shoulder. She did say she looked, but she didn't make it obvious. Two, at the runabout, undue hesitation, waiting for that vehicle that was coming down, even though she had the right of way. And three, observation, change of direction, the right mirror not checking early enough. Taking the next road on the left, please. Now, take a look at this situation here, because the people has been in the right lane for some time, which is okay because they're a parked vehicle. But look at this turn. This is beautiful. If you notice, the pupil came back to the left lane before turning because there was space for her to do so. Never, ever, ever turn left from the right lane if you've got enough space to slowly come in. This is very, very important. It is important because the examiner will mark you a serious driving fault if you turn left from the right lane when there are more space to come into the left lane before actually turning. Just look at this situation here now. Look how my pupil dealt with this meeting situation. Tires and tarmac, absolutely brilliant on her. One of the things she kept doing all the way throughout, which I recommended, is to keep talking out. Like, for example, in a situation like this, she was commenting. So she commented, "Oh, I've got enough space as long as I'm going through slowly." So those things worked in her favor because that looked a little bit tight, but the examiner did not mark that one because the examiner was aware that the pupil was aware of the gap and the adequate clearance and the fact that the speed needs to reduce once the gap narrows. So those things work in your favor. So please comment. Talk out loud what you're doing so the examiner know exactly what you are doing. Roundabout, we're turning left, please. Roundabout, we're turning left, please. And then we're going to be turning right back into the driving test center, please. Please remember when coming into the test center, please slow down and use first gear because of this hill going up. First gear is the only gear that will work. So slow down, use first gear. There are no rush when you're coming back. Now, when the examiner says just park up on the left, it doesn't matter if you're in between two bays or anything at the end. It's just parking up at the end of the test. So it doesn't matter if you're in the bay or not. So, right, that's the end of the test and an absolute brilliant drive. So, congratulations, Elena. You've done exceptional well on this one.